And what's your position at the VA currently?
I'm a registered nurse.
Okay. And do you like your job? I mean, you're up there. You've been through the pandemic up there already. Do you like your job?
I love my job. It's the best job that I've ever had, and I would love to stay in my job. And we're just asking to utilize the um, procedures and the PPE that we've been utilizing for the last 2 years in order to keep our veterans safe. And what we're afraid is going to happen is that if things move forward and some may be accommodated, which means moved out of clinical positions, or some of us are even terminated, we're afraid that that's going to affect veterans care because we're going to lose providers, we're going to lose nursing staff, all kinds of healthcare professionals are going to be forced to go to other jobs outside of the VA health system, and that's not what we want. We enjoy taking care of our veterans. We love them, and we want to be there for them. And these are the constitutional rights that many have died for and that are still fighting for. And I think that most of our veterans would be saddened to hear that the healthcare system that they're taking part of is trying to enforce such a mandate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I talked to Daniel, and you mentioned over the phone that you've all sought religious exemptions from the vaccine. So, what is the status of that? How has the VA handled those exemptions?
Well, most of us don't know our status. Some do. Some of our exemptions have been coined and turned into a request for accommodation. And some of us have just been asked to test weekly. Some of us, they haven't addressed at all. So the lack of transparency is very concerning, and that's why all of us are in fear of losing our jobs that we love so much.
And we're about 30 minutes from the official start of this, and there's already quite a few people out here. How many of these folks that are with us are VA employees?
Several of them are. I mean, I couldn't tell you one by one. Some of them are our spouses. Some of them are our family members. Some of them are even vaccinated people who do not want to see us lose our First Amendment rights. And I know I've talked to many vaccinated coworkers that are not in support of boosters. And so we're here for them too, and they're here for our support as well.
After our interview, if you happen to know any of those vaccinated people that are here, I think that's an interesting aspect of the story.
Okay.
So if you wouldn't mind introducing me.
Okay, I will. I'll try to find some.
Absolutely. So it's a really uncertain time.
Okay.
You're kind of in limbo. You don't know
Yes.
where anything stands. How are you mentally processing that and coping with that uncertainty?
Well, the last 2 years have been a struggle. I personally have worked COVID units. I have dealt with COVID in my own family. So that, along with the uncertainty of providing for my family, has been mentally and emotionally challenging for the last 2 years, because we don't need anything to complicate what the pandemic has already complicated. So some of us have utilized EAP, our employee assistance program, which is a great benefit that we have at the VA. Another reason we don't want to lose our jobs, because we do have great benefits. So it's a challenge. I'm nervous today. This is a challenge. So we're all stressed, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And would you be willing to move to a non-clinical role at the VA, or is that just not an option for you?
I personally have applied for 4 positions outside of the high-risk areas and clinical areas, and Human Resources has referred me for those positions, which means I am qualified for them. I have not been offered those positions yet. I'm willing to do whatever the VA thinks is safe for veterans and their care, but I haven't heard anything. So, and I think that's what all of us are most concerned about, is the lack of transparency.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was actually going to be my next question is, since the vaccine mandates came into place, what has the communication with VA offices been like?
It's variable. My experience is different than someone else's experience. Some have been verbally approached by their management and leadership. Some have received emails. Some have been farther along in the EEO complaint process. Some of them have went to a formal process, which means lawyers are going to get involved. Some of us don't even have an opportunity to file an EEO because they haven't even been asked to test yet. So there's a lot of inconsistencies, and we're afraid that this is going to become very discriminatory.
And what are the current, I guess, procedures that they're having you do, just for my clarification, as an unvaccinated healthcare worker when you're in the hospital now?
We utilize PPE. We are masking. They're not any different than before we had the vaccine. We have plenty of PPE at our VA. I know that's not the case for all VAs across the nation. At least that's what I hear from other employees. But Mountain Home has provided an abundance of PPE for us, and that's all we really need. You know, if masks are working, then and we're still wearing them. If they don't work, then why are we still wearing them?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I think that mostly covers it. I guess, what is the goal from this rally today? We're starting to gather a crowd. I see you're heading up to the road over there with some signs and stuff like that. But really, what is the goal of today's rally?
Our goal is to make the public aware, our veterans aware of what is going on, because they love us as much as we love them, and they have a right to know what's going on. And if you all, they can support us in any way, if the public can support us in any way, we need that. And so that is our goal, is we want to be peaceable, and we pray for God's direction in every step that we take. And we want to provide excellent care and continue to do so at our facility.
All right.
Hi, can you tell me your name?
My name is Hungry Escape.
And why are you out here?
I'm here to support freedom for America. And you know why? Because I came from that country. I fled my country looking for freedom. And I'm 100% supporting those people from the federal employees for freedom.
You think it's right that employees will lose their jobs
No.
over not getting something they may not want, or is against their
Of
religious
course no.
beliefs?
That's why we are in America. That shouldn't happen in America.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
They didn't want to talk. That's where my
Thanks for coming out and supporting us.
You're welcome, sir.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Eric.
And why are you out here?
I'm out here to speak on behalf of federal employees for medical freedom. I'm a veteran myself, so also being a federal employee, I understand, one, what kind of care we provide for our veterans. Being a veteran myself, getting my care here, and I know how some of these mandates that discriminate against our religious freedom, how it's going to impact the care of our veterans. So that's what I'm out here for, speaking on behalf of federal employees and veterans.
And as a veteran, and I'm a veteran myself, are you worried that this will impact our care if all the nurses and doctors that did not take the stab get fired?
Absolutely. If we remove those staff members, it's going to drastically impact our veteran care. Already just with already the short staff that we do have through the height of COVID and everything, we experienced longer wait times, you know, a little bit of decline in patient care just because there's less of us to take care of veterans. So obviously that's going to impact care to some extent in one way or another. So, you know, if they decide on top of already the shortage that we have in staff to remove further staff, obviously it's going to, you know, pile up, snowball up, and it's just going to make things worse.
And did you work during the pandemic?
Absolutely.
And what did you do during the pandemic?
During the height of the pandemic, I actually worked on the COVID unit. And then went back to my home unit, and then we continue to take care of COVID patients even on my home unit. So we experienced it all over the place.
And the VA provided all the necessary proper PPE?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You know, at times, just because of supply, you know, sometimes we'd be shorthanded, so we'd have to scrimp a little bit. But we had all the PPE that we needed to take care of
and
patients.
you were unvaccinated at the start of this pandemic, right?
The whole time.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Hey, appreciate you.